In this week's movies, Arbitrage, Liberal Arts, and The Master.
You seem so familiar to me.
The Master, by writer-director Paul Thomas Anderson, tells the story of the relationship between a leader of a therapeutic, quasi-religious cult and a young drifter who becomes his right-hand man.
I know you're trying to calm me down, but just say something that's true!
A.O. Scott writes The Master is wild and enormous, exploring the lure and folly of greatness. Joaquin Phoenix pushes his performance beyond the psychological gesture of the method into a zone of pure, feral, improvisatory being.
You want to get the lady?
Philip Seymour Hoffman presents an integrated, highly nuanced, supreme, methodical self to the camera. The two actors work in a counterpoint that expresses not only the diverging temperaments of the men they are playing, but also some of the contradictions of the era.
You know this, but I'm a few years older than you.
Did you think this was like a romantic thing?
In Liberal Arts, a 35-year-old university admissions counselor at a New York City university returns to his Ohio alma mater to attend his college professor's retirement.
She was like the best teacher I had here. She was like the second best teacher I had here.
Stephen Holden writes that the movie is filled with ruminations on youth and maturity and age-appropriate and inappropriate behavior. But the film conveys a desperation to be liked and is ultimately steeped in sitcom conventions, complete with a gooey, happy ending.
I really have no idea what's going on, but the way that this sheet reads, half of the fund's assets are missing.
That's ridiculous.
In Arbitrage, a shifty hedge fund manager gets in over his head when his secret mistress dies in a fiery car crash. Manohla Dargis writes that Arbitrage is a sleek entertainment about how very good greed can be, a fairy tale masquerading as a tragedy. Richard Gere is predictably fun to watch, but his beauty and long-cultivated sympathetic screen presence make it harder for writer-director Henry Jarecki to create the complexity that he's after.
525, that's it, yes or no?
The Dirty Dealing should be a richly exploitable topical subject, but instead of digging into the psychology and morality of greed, Mr. Jarecki only glances and lectures in that direction. These days, it seems, the illegal manipulation of hundreds of millions simply isn't enough to incite moral outrage.